Welcome back, guys. Hellsbuttmonkey here for the next of the spoiler videos coming out of Ravnica Allegiance. We're going to have a look today at the epitome of blue-white, the guild that likes to say no. Here comes the Azorius. Okay, guys, here we have the Azorius cards coming out of Ravnica Allegiance. For those of you who don't know much about the Azorius, they are the blue-white guild of Ravnica. They are the people who like to tell everyone, no, you can't do that. No. Just no. They were founded by a familiar face from Ixalan, Azor, the giant sphinx, who also likes to tell people no. So much so, he told everyone no, they couldn't planeswalk off the planet. But the Azorius function as the lawmakers of Ravnica, and basically everyone can't stand them because they keep telling them no. The mechanics they used in previous Ravnica blocks were, the first one was detain. No, sorry. The second one was detain. The first one was forecast. And then detain. And now, looking at our new set, we have Addendum. We have our first card here, Sphinx's Insight, which showcases the Addendum mechanic. It's a keyword that basically means it matters when you cast it. In this case, if you cast it in your main phase, you get an extra bonus. All the bonuses are different depending on each card. This one, it's a draw 2 card, which is nice because you can draw it in your end step. But if you want to draw it in your main phase, you also gain 2 life. It's the main phase casting is very similar to a cycle of cards that was in Time Spiral, like Mightvolt Crocer and Haunting Hymn, where you got an additional effect if you cast it in your main phase. I don't see this card getting as much play in Standard because simply Chemist's Insight's better. Being able to bring it back from the graveyard, it's just a lot. It gives you 2 casts as opposed to 2 life. This one does flash back to an older card from the last Ravnica block. I almost go as far to call this Sphinx's Meh-velation. But yeah, I can't see it getting much play in Standard. The next one we have is Emergency Powers. A nice massive 7-cost mythic. It's an instant. Each player shuffles their hand and graveyard into the library, then draws 7. Then you exile Emergency Powers. Its addendum, though, is if cast during your main phase, you can put a permanent with converted mana cost 7 or less from your hand onto the battlefield. Again, I don't see this getting much play in Standard. And it's not going to be that good against aggressive decks, of which there's a couple, simply because you don't want to refuel an aggressive deck's hand. At this point in the game, they should be empty. They should be running top deck. And giving them 7 cards, you could potentially be giving a burn deck 7 burn spells. But I suppose shuffling the graveyard into the library is helpful. Means that you can neuter the Izzet Drakes for a couple of turns, taking them down from 14 4s to 0 4s again. I could see it potentially getting a bit more play in Modern with blue-white control, where you could cast this in your main phase and then drop Khan Liberated, and then make everyone's day really bad. But yeah, it's an interesting spell. might see a bit more play in EDH as well. The next card, however, is not one with Addendum. It's a legendary creature called Ravnica Azorius Renegade. A blue and a white for a 2/2. Legendary Hate Bear. If you've never heard the term Hate Bear, basically it's a bear, which is a 2-cost 2/2 creature, going back to the old grizzly bears, that makes people's days less fun. In this case, each opponent can't cast non-creature spells with a converted mana cost greater than the number of lands that player controls. And also, whenever an opponent casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell. So basically, it's saying you're not allowed free spells, and you're not allowed to cheat spells out. Now, Standard doesn't have that much in the way of hate bears, which is interesting. Maybe there's more coming soon in one of the other blocks. Or maybe, going on our first ability here, maybe that there's cost reduction spells coming up soon, which could be interesting. I could see this card actually being better suited in Eternal formats like Legacy and Modern. In Modern, this would do really well against Tron. Tron likes to play their 3 Tron lands out and cheat out Karn Liberated. That ain't happening. And you could also weaken decks like Living End that like to cast 0 cost spells. In Legacy, the best thing this does is say, pay the full cost for your Force of Will. No, you're not casting it for free. And also Terminus. No, you're paying the full cost. That's it. Deal with it. So yeah, I could see this getting a bit of play in the Eternal formats, but we'll have to see what the other spoilers from this set and a couple of future sets bring to see where this can fit in. Okay guys, here are our 3 cards spoiled from this week for the Azorius Guild. Sphinx's Insight, Emergency Powers, and Ravnica Azorius Renegade. We are hopefully going to see some more. I believe they're starting spoilers on the 2nd of January. We'll probably start seeing some Azorius counterspells coming up there. Everything just to make everyone's games just a bit more slow and boring. But we also have the spoilers still to come for the Orzhov Guild and the Simic Guild that I'm going to be putting up very soon. Until then, make sure that you follow me on Twitter, stalk me on Twitch, follow me all over the place. Make sure you give the monkey some love on here. Subscribe to my channel if you like it. If you don't, sorry. But until then, until you see me next time, peace out.